Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here, and hopeful crispy boy time. Yeah, crisp lager from New Trail Brewing. New Trail. I've had a bunch of their beers. Used to get them quite more often when I was over living in Pennsylvania, but we get them here in New Jersey also. But I was over in Pennsylvania today, and I've seen this kind of floating around online. I was like, okay, these guys are touting a crisp lager. Wouldn't mind picking it up. Lo and behold, I found some. It says on here, New Trail, crisp lager, proudly brewed in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, 4.8% alcohol by volume. Refreshing, easy drinking, and all above crisp. A lot of people say crispy, but it's not actually. They're not crispies. There might be some dating that smudge on there. That's the big thing about New Trail. I really don't pick up any of their beers at all because they don't date. They just don't do it. I know they belong to a couple Facebook groups, and they've kind of explained, oh, this is why we don't date, because of this, the machine is down. No, they just don't date. They choose not to. It's kind of poopy, because I would pick some stuff up. There's been a couple times I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm moved for one of these, and, no date. Can't. If it's a hazy, you just don't know. It could be sitting there for a year plus on some of these shelves, so that is a bummer. As far as label goes, it's kind of, what you'd expect of a new school, but kind of leaning into the old school kind of vibe, kind of thing going on. So I don't be hating it. And as far as lagers go, you're talking about more specifically like craft lager. That is gosh darn clear. It is not like Bud macro lager clear, but it's pretty damn close. I mean, there's the ever so slightest bit of soft taste in there. A beautiful, like aggressive kind of almost champagne-like carbonation to it. And it has that nice index finger of a soapy, nice, taut little lager kind of head. So we're off to a very good start. Yeah, let's get a nose. Yeah, Pilsner malt driven all the way. You get a little bit of soft fruity hops in there. More melon leaning, a little bit of a soft, like funky, it's not sulfury, but it's soft lager funkiness. You definitely know you're drinking a lager here. You definitely know you're dealing with a nice, decently robust Pilsner malt. It's not like a bleached out, drop out, everything kind of Pilsner malt. It is classic, kind of German style, kind of Pilsner malt, Munich style Pilsner malt. Done and done. Definitely looks the part of a lager, definitely smells the part of a lager. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's good. That's good. It's very good. It's very tasty. I'm actually really, really impressed with how decently purposeful they've leaned into the malt here. It's not like a dropout on maltiness kind of thing a lot of people go for when they go for the crispy style kind of beer. That being said, it does have a little bit of heft to it. Is it a crispy lager? Sure. Is it the crispiest of lagers? It sounds like something Pauly Shore would say in an old crappy 90s movie, but no, but it's still worthy of being in that kind of thing. So you're calling yourself a crisp lager, you kind of have to be there. They definitely get in, but they're not like super duper snappy, because there is a nice kind of Pilsner malt here, and it does have a weight to it. It's not ultra light to the point where it's super snappy crisp, but it's definitely crispy. But I think the trade-off you get with that is a much more flavorful lager, which is kind of the whole point here. You have this really nice, clean, albeit not super crisp, but crisp mouthfeel. But then you get this nice, rich, slightly toasted kind of Pilsner malt. Brings that very pronounced, very obvious kind of malt bill to it that shows up definitely in the taste. The hopping here is very subtle but purposeful. Like I said, there's a soft melon vibes throughout the whole thing. But I wouldn't confuse this with being fruity by any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, there's a nice hoppiness to it. It's not getting anywhere close to like a Czech hop or anything like that. Very much more like an American style kind of hop lager, a traditional American style hop lager, not the ones they do nowadays, which are essentially IPLs. And just comes off as honestly a really tasty, really well done beer. Something that you want to drink a bunch of. You're talking about sub 5%, so we're definitely in the sessionable range here. You're talking about something that has impact, but at the same time is not super crazy volumetric to the point where it's not going to be sessionable. It's going to be something that kind of over time your palate's going to kind of wear out. You're not going to have that here. You're left with a surprisingly malty experience on the Pilsner end while still staying in that crisp kind of zone. I think it's really tasty stuff. I actually don't know what I paid for this. I want to say it got to be sub $10. I'm hoping, if anything, it's right around $10 a sixer. You know, in a perfect world, these are getting down in that kind of, you know, $8 range. But again, at the same time, you know, can't be hating on something this tasty at a relatively decent price point. Like I said, I was looking forward to this beer, more so the kind of putting the crisp on the can, how's it going to end up, and it shows and it proves, and it's actually probably one of the better traditional-esque kind of, and when I say traditional, kind of American-born kind of Pilsners, the old ilk, like the kind of, you know, you're leaning into Miller High Life territory here as opposed to, you know, Bambergy stuff or Munich or Austrian level kind of Pilsners. That's what this is leaning into. It does a really good job of it in a very, very tasty beer. Maybe I should have did side by side with some High Life. Got cans of that. Always do. So there you go. A little bit of New Trail, a little bit of crisp lager up in this piece. What you all think of it? Have you had this particular beer yet? I know it's relatively new. Have you been to the brewery, have a bunch of their beers? How perturbed are you at them that they still choose not to date anything, which is insanity in this day and age? All that fun stuff. Let's do it down there. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of lager right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.